Hi y'all, it's Jen, and today I want to talk about The Girls by Emma Cline. This book takes place for the most part, in Southern California in 1969. There are a few chapters in this book from the modern day standpoint of the main character. Evie Boyd is the main character, and for the majority of the book she is 14 years old and is trying to kind of find herself, where she fits into this world, and in doing so she runs across a group of girls who is led by a girl named Suzanne. These girls happen to be part of a group that almost has a cult following of a character named Russell. You may be getting the impression that this sounds real similar to the Charles Manson cult, and it does, for a reason. This book is kind of loosely based on the girls of the Manson cult. It does touch on some of the aspects of the cult, some of the things that did happen with Charles Manson and his followers. But the majority of this book is about Evie Boyd, who is 14 years old and is just trying to find her way in life. She's kind of an outcast. Her parents are kind of uninvolved, and she is kind of left on her own alone. Really finds an attraction and idolizes Suzanne and follows her. None of these characters are really likable characters. Evie Boyd at 14 is not really likable. She is a bratty 14-year-old girl who thinks that she knows everything and thinks that she can make the best decisions for her, and clearly she cannot. Then Suzanne, Donna, Helen, Rose, Gary, Russell, those cult members, and Russell himself, they are definitely not likable characters. And then you have Mitch, who portrays the music star who is supposed to get Russell a big music deal, and which falls through, and he's not a very likable character either. Even though they are not likable characters, there is still the intrigue. There are aspects of the characters that you kind of feel sorry for them. You know they're getting duped by Russell. You know he is manipulative, and he's just trying to use them to get his way. And if you know anything about the Charles Manson history and cult, then you can kind of see where the fascination lies, to see why these girls were drawn into his circle. A lot of people have said that they've had a hard time getting into the book due to the writing style. It drug me right in. I really liked it, that it was a little different. It was kind of flowy. It doesn't always have complete full sentences, but they're arranged in thoughts or ideas, and it makes sense with the book, and I really did enjoy that. Now, each part of this book does start off with a chapter from adult Evie's perspective, and the only reason that I can find that those chapters were included was so that the reader could see that Evie is still, even as an adult, is still kind of a lost little girl. She is still trying to find her way and her place in the world, and really hasn't changed a lot from 14-year-old Evie in that aspect. There are some parts of this story that are difficult to get through. If you are familiar with the Manson history at all, you could understand. 1969 in Southern California, you've got a lot of drugs, a lot of references to sex, and it's not always good, and it's not always nice. So those chapters, those sections of the book are a little difficult to read, but I think they're essential for this book. I think that it really helps tell the story of Evie and what she is getting involved in. The chapters with adult Evie are slow. They're kind of hard to get through. I did not enjoy those chapters at all. Are there any diverse characters in here? No, not really. I mean, this is Southern California, 1969, and it really takes the story of the Manson girls and fictionalizes it, and there's not a lot of diversity there. There are some speculation that Evie is gay due to her infatuation with Suzanne. However, I don't really think that that's the case. My interpretation was that she was just infatuated with this older girl who she thought was really cool and really badass, and that kind of swayed her thoughts and her feelings, and she really kind of idolized Suzanne. And I think it was more just an infatuation with her. Nothing else in the story of 14-year-old Evie or present day Evie indicates that there was any kind of other gay relationships or infatuations. So I don't think that that was necessarily the case, although there have been some people who have interpreted it that way. I did give this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I am a serial killer junkie. I am fascinated by that story. I am fascinated by Charles Manson and his followers. So this story really did pique my interest from the beginning, and it gave me the ability to look inside the cult, fictionalized inside of the cult, from the girl's perspective and from an outsider's perspective who kind of gets on the inside. And I did find that very fascinating, and I really did enjoy the story from Evie's point of view when she was a girl in 1969. The reason I did not give it 5 stars is because of the adult Evie chapters. I found them pretty useless. They didn't give a lot of information, and I think that maybe they have a little bit of a point, but I think the story could have been told very well without them as well. Would I recommend this book? Absolutely. It is an adult contemporary book. I really think it kind of has some good coming of age story aspects to it, so you could almost call it a coming of age story as well. I do want to share a quote so you can get an idea of the writing. It is not a spoiler. There are those survivors of disasters whose accounts never begin with the tornado warning or the captain announcing engine failure, but always much earlier in the timeline. An instance that they notice a strange quality to the sunlight that morning, or excessive static in their sheets. A meaningless fight with a boyfriend, as if the presentiment of catastrophe wove itself into everything that came before. If you've read this book, let me know in the comments what your thoughts were, and if you are going to read this book, please let me know that as well in the comments. I'm definitely interested to see what your take is. As always, be sure and like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe so you can get more notifications from me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.